and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Joanna Myers.
Hey, Tessie, and we drink and we know things.
We are back this week with our longtime standing guest, Mr. Soup, Steve Polivka. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm back again for another week. This is very special.
This is crazy, right? So we're going over. Both Steve and I did a 31 for 31 watch in October. That's 31 scary movies for 31 days. And we're going to go over our lists. We're going to contrast and compare. And we're going to get into it.
And Nate and I are going to sit here with popcorn and...
Yeah, I've moved on to nerd clusters, so we're good.
Okay, oh, good.
Nice.
And those are really good. Anyway.
So
Last year we went day for day. And Mr. Soup, why don't you start us off? What was October 1?
all right. So before we get to October 1, just a quick update for last year, because when we ended last year, I said that my last day was potentially a porn. It was Amityville Vibrator. I watched it after the podcast.
Yeah.
100% can confirm it's a porn. I apparently it was supposed to be like a softcore porn at first, like the kind you'd find at Blockbuster, but then I had the special 66 minutes and 6 seconds version, which had actual porn. And like I was wondering why I'm watching Slappy from Goosebumps get it on with some goth lady, but I mean, yeah. So I did watch it. It is a parody of Amityville Horror. They
You got the director's cut?
yeah, it's a woman picks up a haunted vibrator at a garage sale, and
Don't get
the tagline for the movie.
garage sales ladies, come on.
right, the tagline for the movie is "For God's sake, get off." So I mean,
God, who would have ever guessed?
I would-
a pornographic movie.
I was raised in a very sheltered life, so I gave it the benefit of the doubt. But anyway, so that's my update. But this year,
So number one this year is climbing
Number-
Jack's beanstalk. I wonder if this is a porno.
Oh, dude.
anyway, no. Similar to that, no, this seemed like a porno. No, I'm just kidding. My first day this year, I got 2010's The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro and with
Nice.
oh god, what the hell is his name? Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Right?
Yeah.
And okay, so I mean, I'm not a huge fan of these like kind of period pieces that take place in like old timey England type things. I'm not a huge fan of them. At first, I thought it was pretty decent. I realized halfway through that I feel like it's a remake of the Lon Chaney Jr. movie from 1941. But
Oh, yeah.
overall, it was fine. I did think it was interesting. This is the second time Benicio del Toro plays a dog-faced boy. The first time being in Big Top Pee-wee.
Right.
And Hugo Weaving's in this. It was good up until the end, where there was this really weird werewolf battle that was like old man werewolf and young man werewolf going at it, and just really bad CGI. And then also,
the alpha, right?
I had to take away points because there was no car surfing in this, so clearly Teen Wolf takes the best werewolf movie crown, continuing.
I mean, it is known. Yeah.
So, other than that, it was decent, but
Right.
nothing to write home about, really.
Yeah. All right. My October 1st was a movie called The Borderlands. It came to the U.S. as Final Prayer, but this is a found footage film of like Vatican investigators going to a nowhere church, investigating sort of weird, weird happenings and everything. And I appreciate a good found footage film. And this was okay. It was good. It was about a 6 out of 10. There was nothing really on here that like jumped out at me as like great or exciting, but there were some good points, there were some low points, but it wasn't really anything crazy. So
Okay.
My October 2nd film though, Spoonful of Sugar, was fan-fucking-tastic. Did you see this, Steve?
I did not. I'm making, like last year, I'm making a list of movies I need to see after this.
Okay, this one's on Shudder, and again, this is really good. This is the fifth or it was like the 4th or 5th comment down on the Shudder reviews was Twisty McTwisty Face. So
Like Buddy McBoatface?
yeah, so I had
Yes.
to I had to watch it, and I really love this. This is a youngish girl who gets a babysitting job for this family, for this special needs kid, and you think that this movie's going to go one way, and sure enough, it twists into a completely different direction. The end credits on this sort of sell the twist at the end, and it's really good. Like you think it's going in one direction, and they're setting everything up to move, and in the final 5 minutes you just get thrown, and then it all lines up after everything. You're just like, oh man, so good. So yeah, Spoonful of Sugar on Shudder was an awesome watch. So
Awesome.
yeah, what was your
That
October
sounds-
2?
Interestingly enough, my October 2 was also amazing. I got this wonderful 1977 blaxploitation horror movie, Petey Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Rudy Ray Moore. He played Dolomite. There's a really good biopic on him called I Am Dolomite, where Eddie Murphy plays Rudy Ray Moore. But he had a bunch of these kind of crazy blaxploitation films in the 70s, which are all just amazing. And this one, he plays the effer named Petey Wheatstraw, who he's a musician. And he and his group are performing in, I don't know what town, it didn't say, but there's some rival promoters in the area who are like, we got to ambush this guy and take him out because he's taking all our business from our club. So they all roll up and they shoot him and they all die. And then when he dies, he goes to the afterlife and he meets a man named Lou Cipher, who says, I'm willing to resurrect you, but the deal is if I resurrect you, you have to marry my daughter. And he's like, yeah, sure, like, how bad could it be? And then he sees his daughter's ugly. And so he's like, oh no. But he resurrects Petey Wheatstraw and he gives him, and I had to write this down, a magical pimp cane. And then he goes around using that to simultaneously, like, improve his community and humiliate his enemies.
Oh, no
And so
way.
once he gets back and he kills the promoters, Lou Cipher shows back up and he's like, all right, time to make good, marry my daughter. And he's like, get bent, sucker. And then they start kung fu fighting on the roof of this building. And all the devils are wearing, like, multicolored leotards. And he, like... There's literally a flashback to when he's a kid, and he's, like, on a riverbank with this guy, and he's like, young Petey, I've taught you everything in the ways of kung fu. And he's like, oh, thank you, master. And, like, he does this, like, really cheesy kung fu, and then he basically falls off the building, and then he escapes into a car, and when he's driving away, he realizes that his friends who he was escaping with are all dead, and Lou Cipher's in the car with him with his daughter. And he's like, you'll never escape, time to marry her. And then he's like, no, and then it ends. But it's just, the music is top tier, the movie's amazing. If you've ever seen Black Dynamite, that was basically a parody of Rudy Ray Moore films.
Oh, okay. All
and
right.
so it is hilarious. It is so good.
Nice. That's awesome.
And let me see. For day 3,
I'm still dying over Lou Cipher.
Yeah.
I was dying. I was like, oh my god, they named him Lou Cipher. Are you kidding me right now? So day 3, I remember you watched this last year, and I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And being a Nick Cage aficionado, on paper, I should like this. I saw Arcadian.
Oh, yeah.
So, truth be told,
I read your review.
yeah, it was so boring, I fell asleep during it. And then I woke up to this, like, the most ungodly noise I've ever heard in my life that sounded like somebody with an old rusty drill grinding a bowl of nails. And I was like, what the hell is this? And there was some weird monster horse-looking thing, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I honestly just turned it off and I went to bed. I was like, no thank you, Nick Cage. I'm sorry. So...
I'm done.
You know, the tagline's absolute nightmare fuel, and I think the nightmare was that it woke me up from my nap with the most jarring noise I've ever heard in my life.
That's funny.
So.
I was a little more. I remember being a little more invested into that movie. My October 3rd, and we talked about this on not our last podcast, but the podcast before. But it was VHS Halloween that came out this year on Shudder, and oh man, so many great segments. in this one. So yeah, if you want a full review of that, head back to podcasts and you'll hear our thoughts on VHS Halloween. But it was a very good installment in that series, which I loved. So my October 4, it's kind of out of the realm of horror. It does sort of what Alien to Aliens did, but Megan 2.0 unrated.
Yeah.
kind of dives into the action sort of aspect of it and not necessarily the horror. You still get some decent kills. Funny Steven Seagal reference. And you know, I do like this franchise so far. I hope it keeps going. I love
please.
it.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for my day 4, I got one of the many early 90s, late 80s horror franchises that by their 4th installment decided to go to space for what unknown reason. And I got Critters 4. They always do that, and Critters 4 is no exception to that. This movie is really... Right, which I was like, they're from space. I mean, what the hell? But so this one... Interestingly enough, stars Angela Bassett and Brad Dourif.
Oh wow!
Which I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" But it felt like they wanted to do some kind of weird, like something's wrong with the spaceship. We need to investigate space movie. The goddamn critters didn't even show up until over halfway through the movie.
Oh wow!
And then when they did show up, they were like barely in it. It just felt like they were doing like this weird space drama, and then they were like, this isn't going to sell well. Let's just throw the critters in there for God knows what reason. And it was so like, what the fuck? But I even had to go back and I was like, okay, so what franchises went to space? And I was like, there was Friday the 13th with Jason X. Hellraiser goes to space. Leprechaun goes to space. And now Critters goes to space.
It literally is like, well, it's like jump the shark for horror. Like,
oh,
well,
100%.
let's just go to space.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Called
Horror
Critters
in
4
space.
Requiem.
Right.
Shitty space version.
It should have been. God damn. And day 5, I got one of my... There were 2 Friday the 13th... Oh, not Friday. Nightmare on Elm Street ripoffs I got. This one is a Italian slasher movie from 1990 called Night Killer. It is about a guy who has a similar bladed hand and a weird, semi-burned, demonic-looking face who kills people. Similar to Amityville Vibrator, this movie started out looking like it probably was originally shot to be a porn, but then they decided halfway through we can make more money as a horror movie, so they probably just filmed a little bit of extra scenes.
It's a horror, not horror movie.
Right. One of the funniest scenes I have ever seen in a horror movie comes from this movie, though, and I was dying. And so let me just set the stage. There's this guy who's stalking the main lady who has these like psychic visions of this guy coming to kill her. And she confronts him in a bathroom with a handgun, and he's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to shoot me. And she's like, take off your clothes. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is this where the porn comes in? So he strips down to his like Italian tight underwear, and she takes his clothes and she flushes them in the toilet, and then she like runs away. And so he has to walk out of this place, like it's like a club or something. He has to walk out like in his underwear, and the front desk guy goes, hey man, where are your clothes? And he just turns around and he goes, I got molested in the little boys' room. And then he runs out the door. And I was like, what was that fucking delivery? Like the emphasis on, I got molested. I was just like, oh my God. He like scampers away afterwards. It was just so ridiculous. But the rest of the movie is just, it's Italian cheesy horror knockoff ridiculousness.
Sure.
It's worth watching for the cheese and for that scene alone, but like it's so the monster does like a Christian Bale Batman growl and then attacks people with his claw. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Come on now. So.
That's great. My October 5 was Screamboat in the era of things coming into public domain. Last year I watched Mousetrap, which was beyond awful. Like, all it was the Willy mask, and he had some supernatural ability, but he was killing kids in an arcade, right? Didn't have anything. This, Screamboat, had a definite love for Disney and they gave it a proper backstory, which, don't get me wrong, this is a cheesy movie. This movie isn't obviously winning any awards, but for someone who appreciates Disney and Disney history, you will love this movie just for that fact.
All right.
There is
Noted.
about half an hour, 45 minutes in, there is they give the backstory of it's a infected mouse that is living on the Staten Island ferry, right? That gets unearthed and starts killing people, but they give us a proper, like, Steamboat Willie animated backstory between him and the old ferry captain Walt. That is like, it's so great, and there's a group of girls that's from a bachelorette party that mirror the Disney princesses, right? And there are, like I said, multiple Disney references throughout the movie that just make this, so there was a lot of thought, and again, this was made by someone who loves Disney so much but also loves horror movies, that, again, if you have any love for either, you will watch this movie and definitely come away with a smile on your face.
That sounds amazing.
Staying in the Disney realm, my October 6th watch was not the same experience, and I discussed this on a previous podcast. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. This falls into the "what the fuck did I just watch" category.
Is that a Michael
I
Jackson
haven't watched
movie?
it.
Right, I was going to say. Peter
This
Pan's
was-
like, eh, eh.
Yeah, no, this was on Peacock, and like you're watching it through, and you're just like, this can't get any. No, it can. No, it can. It absolutely can.
Bubbles, where's my monkey? Bubbles.
Right. If you're so inclined and need like 90 minutes to kill and want what the hell did I just watch? Give
Sold.
it. Yeah, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. That's on Peacock, Joe. Okay.
I'm writing that down.
Writing it down, yeah, on Peacock. There's a reason for me to get Peacock.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm going to sign up for the free trial just for that, just to see what you went through.
Yeah, but you
Holy
don't call it Peacock,
shit.
Andy. So it's
No,
Peter
it's
Pan's
on the cock. Right.
The
Yeah,
cock.
you're
Right.
gonna say the full title. And then
Okay.
the channel.
I'm so sorry.
So it is about Michael Jackson.
Peter
Exactly.
Pan's Neverland
Peter
Nightmare on the cock.
Oh no! Trust me. The cock gave me a bunch of my watches this year.
Whoa.
And
Vibrator.
I watched a lot on the
Okay,
cock. Let me
I
just
just
tell you.
watched Ed Gaten, man. Don't,
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, right.
Take it
So
easy.
you're endorsing the cock, is what I understand you're saying here.
Well, you
It's
know
a
what?
full-throated endorsement.
I have a
Dear
deep
God, my mom
appreciation
listens
for the
to this
cock.
podcast.
And the show.
Oh, no.
No.
Well, I will.
Go
Jesus.
on.
Sorry, Ma.
Yeah, sorry, Cindy.
Oh, my.
I'll cycle us back to
Okay.
my day 6. I agree with the title of this movie. It was called Vampire, the silliest vampire movie ever made, from 2020. Apparently, this is the second vampire movie. I didn't realize there were two. I found this on Tubi, and it was Ming Ballard is the lady who made the movie, and she stars in it. She plays a vampire who is allergic to blood. So she finds a recipe where she can make vampires, which are made with blood, and therefore she's able to eat the pie and satiate the hunger that she feels as a vampire. This movie is like a mix of like part movie, part The Office style interview comedy.
Oh no.
Where she keeps giving her viewpoint on what's happening. There's like nuns wielding baseball bats, priests using nunchucks, like there's so much bizarre stuff in this. The entire soundtrack is done by Igor and the Red Elvises, which makes it even better. So it's just this like totally campy, like random thing. There's like a evil vampire coven that wants to steal the recipe for the vampire. So the Vatican sends like special agents to go get it from them. It's
Of
so
course they do.
it's
That old
so
chestnut.
weird.
Right.
But It's genuine. It was so much fun, like way more fun than I thought it would be. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be terrible, and I want to find the original one now because I had so much fun with it.
Nice.
So on the 7th, this is my second Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. This is 1990s VHS horror classic Dreamstalker. This time, the Freddy Krueger stand-in is motocross champion Ricky Fries, who dies during a race only to come back from the dead because he loves Brittany so much that every time she falls asleep, he comes to life and he murders men who show interest in her. And that's pretty much where it is. But then there's also this really weird, like, side B story of this, like, camp for troubled youth, but the youth are all clearly in their 20s. And they, like, go through the woods with a boombox, and they dance like Fly Girls from In Living Color. And they get in fights. And it's like, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what is this even happening? And then it's like back to Ricky killing people. I was like, okay, we're back. And then it just, it was such a bizarre mashup. But shout out to TerraVision Video for releasing this on Blu-ray after it was kind of lost in the VHS era, and now it's available again. So truly amazing.
Steve, I think we need to start a service where you voice over the synopsis for these horror movies.
Right?
And because I would totally, like, if there was a button on IMDb that says, you know, summarize this movie for me, and I just click it and I got your voice doing that, I would abuse that service.
Well, I would watch way more obscure horror movies than I.
We could do that as you could do that as a Rum and Regret special add-on. Just have a movie list, and then they can click a link, and I'll just narrate what it's about.
The Rum and Regret browser extension for bad horror movies.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's great. All right, October 7th. This is a movie I really loved. Clown in a Cornfield. This was on Shudder. I saw a lot of talk online about this movie, about just, you know, sort of how good it was, and then the reviews on Shudder were surprisingly good, because if you look at the title, Clown in a Cornfield, you just figure it's going to be very sort of cliche and everything. But this is a movie that I really, really enjoyed. I thought it was sort of smartly written. It's kind of like small town, and there is you know, like one industry in the town that is under sort of fire, or under it's going under, and they're trying to figure out a way to reinvigorate the town. And there's a good father-daughter dynamic here that is just really funny, and really sort of comes full circle throughout the movie. And I enjoyed this way more than I thought it would. So this was probably one of my favorite movies that I watched during my 31 for 31. My October 8th movie was a movie called The Babysitter on Netflix. This has Samara Weaving in it, who is my new sort of horror it girl. And if I see a movie and she's in, I'm going to watch it. And this was a lot of fun. This ended up having Robbie Amell, Bella Thorne, and a couple of other people in it, and it's about a older, like a high school freshman that his parents are for some reason still using a babysitter for him, and the babysitter is actually part of a satanic cult, and when the parents go away and the kids go to sleep, she invites her friends over, they sacrifice one of them, and start the process of summoning the devil. And it kind of goes from there. This was a great movie. I really, really enjoyed it. And, yeah, this was a lot of fun. It was, I didn't hear anything. I never heard anything about this movie before, but I'm really happy I watched it. So, yeah. To you,
Very
Mr.
nice.
Sue.
All right. Let me see. For day 8, I had 1977's The Child. As a father of an 11-year-old, I did not appreciate that the 11-year-old in this movie has supernatural powers, and she uses them to get revenge on people who she believes are responsible for her mother's death by summoning zombie friends who go out and kill these people. So,
How many friends, though, Steve? How many friends?
She had like 4 or 5.
Not 6 or...
No, not 6 or 7.
Hey.
Oh my God! Stop.
But
Why? I don't understand.
the thing that's interesting about this movie is it's like this is like a series of just miscalculations. So there's this random lady who's a nanny, and she's driving to this house out in the middle of the woods, and no red flags come up for her. Then her car breaks down, and instead of being like, oh shit, it's 1977, I should like flag down somebody for a tow truck, she just thinks, I'll walk through the woods. Why not? So she walks through like the mistiest woods ever. Right. She walks through like the mistiest woods ever. She sees some like people on a quest to return a ring. Then she goes through a cemetery. Then she ends up at this house. And the guy who owns the house is like, oh, good, you're here. You didn't get harassed by any tramps along the way, did you? And I was like, is he talking about like homeless people or like hobos? And they keep calling them tramps, which makes me think that they're like train riding hobos with little bindles. But
not loose women,
right?
No, well, no, not floozies, tramps.
Lady in the Tramp.
Like so.
Confused with floozies.
Not be confused with
We're
floozies.
back in the 20s.
Right, exactly. I mean, so then, like, she gets there to be this nanny, and then for some reason, the girl who needs a nanny also has a brother who's, like, in his 20s, but he can't watch her, which I'm like, okay, weird. And so he and the nanny start falling in love, and they go on, like, horseback riding adventures and stuff. And then, like, a bunch of Boy Scouts got poisoned nearby, and Dad and the 11-year-old are laughing about it, and the nanny's like, no red flags here, this is great. And then, like, all of a sudden the girl gets, like, jealous that the brother is, like, infatuated with the nanny, so she's like, all right, we had our fun. Zombies, go kill them. And then the rest of the movie is them escaping these zombies, like, in the woods. It was the weirdest. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And all of this could have been avoided if she, like, saw any of the whole multitude of red flags that existed for her. But, you know, it was the 70s, and she was just like, whatever. Like, I'll do it. Day 9, I did this to myself. It's really, I have no one to blame for this.
I love it.
It's my fault for having this in my collection. I got Resident Evil: The Final Chapter from 2019.
So, what is the number on the final chapter? How many Resident Evils are there out there?
Oh,
7,
God. I think this is 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
so-
saw, like, maybe 3.
Right. I saw 1 and 2, and I liked them, even though they had nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
3, I walked out of the theater, because I was like, this is just awful. And then I think this is 7. So I was like, oh, God, the things I do for Rum Regret. Okay, here we go.
We appreciate you. Sam.
No, we do. Yeah.
So
We appreciate your sacrifice,
This-
Amityville Vibrator Man.
that's going to be my tombstone title. Here lies Steve,
lies.
Amity Vibrator Man.
Amityville
There'll be a button so my
Vibrator.
tombstone will vibrate.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Put a quarter in and it vibrates.
Exactly. It's a magical fingers coffin.
Sit on the tombstone. and
Jesus. So, interestingly
This
enough,
show has got a new logo.
right.
I love it.
What made this movie, I'm not going to say enjoyable, I will say watchable, is that Ser Jorah from Game of Thrones is the villain in it.
Oh, nice.
And so, clearly he got over his grayscale with the help of Umbrella Corporation, and he's, like, out to kill Alice, because why not?
Yeah.
Everyone at this point I was assuming is dead, because it's just Alice going across, like, a completely devoid USA, and there's, like, now flying pterodactyl zombies, which I was like, maybe those were introduced at another point. I have no idea. But, so he
Sounds
captures
kinda cool.
her, and he does some sort of, like, stupid villain dialogue, monologue thing. And then she's like, clearly Ser Jorah needs a hand, so she cuts his hand off. And then she escapes. And then she's like, I have to go back to the original hive in Raccoon City. So that's the whole plot of this, is that she has to get back to the original hive from the first movie, because there's a cure for the T-virus inside that nobody in all of this time decided to go find.
Right.
I have no idea how the fuck the little British animatronic, you're all gonna die down here, girl, like, grew up. But
Right.
the hologram girl grew up and is now, like, helping Alice, but also is like, I'm programmed not to help you, but I don't do what I'm told, wink. And she's like, pip, cheerio. And then, like, there's a random group of mercs which somehow show up out of nowhere, and I'm like, I thought everyone was dead, but okay. And then they're all, like, these badass, like, gun-toting, like, mercenaries who just kill zombies, and of course they see Mila Jovovich, and they're like, like, what makes you think you can kill zombies, girl? And then she, like, triple pirouette and kicks a zombie's head off, and they're like, well, you showed me, girl, let's go kill these zombies. And I'm like, who are they writing this for?
Right.
Like, this is so fucking bad. Ser Jorah, clearly wanting his hand back, chases after them, he goes there, and then we have the most convoluted bullshit where it's like, Alice, you're a clone of this, like, Umbrella executive, and that's why you're so important. And the Umbrella executive is, like, still alive, and she wants to undo everything. But then Ser Jorah's also a clone of this Umbrella executive. But then the Ser Jorah who's handless finds his two-handed version, and then they're arguing about who's the clone, like the Spider-Man meme. And then I'm like, oh my god, can we just fucking end this? And then, like, there's a fight where they borrow from the Sherlock Holmes thing where he's like, counter to the ribs, like parry to the right, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And, like, he, like, figures it out, and they do that in this for some unknown fucking reason as they have this, like, Matrix-style fight. And then, like, they relive the laser grid scene from the first movie for some,
Right.
like, throwback. It was so bad. I wanted to die after this. I was like, "Oh my god!" So this is the seventh iteration of this.
To
But
be honest, you've sold me on this. I want to watch.
I mean,
Yeah.
watch it to share my
GP.
pain. Holy shit! What I was like, "What the fuck?"
I hate to admit, I actually spent theater money on this. I saw this
Oh
in
my
the theater.
god!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Shame. Shame.
I know, right? Yeah.
Shame.
Oh no!
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway,
My October 9 was the sequel to my October 8, The Babysitter Killer Queen. This actually stars Jenna Ortega and the cast of the first movie in the next part of this. And it was made 2 years after the first one. And again, same sort of feel and fun of the first movie. And this is a solid sort of 1 and 2 back to back. Watching it, I had a lot of fun watching these two movies, and it was so much fun. October 10th was a weird one. I found this one on Netflix. It's called Host. It is a 70-minute movie about a COVID style, like spirit reading or something like that, and yeah, it was weird. It was they wanted to do like a Ouija board, but over Zoom, right? So it is a Zoom style presentation movie.
oh.
And it kind of falls into the found footage era thing, but not really because it's a Zoom thing. Anyway, it was a weird movie. I don't recommend it. I really, if you have an hour to kill, and
Not worth the hour.
there are some good.
I mean,
there are some good scares in it, right? And sort of the reason why they end up pissing off the spirit that they come in was kind of funny. But then, like, I was just, even in a 70-minute movie, I was just like, "Fuck, is this done yet?" We're still going.
I'm saying the same thing about the review. Hey-oh.
All right, there we go, and I'm done. All right, thank you so much. All right.
I love you, buddy.
All right.
No,
So similar to your Screamboat Willie for day 10,
Yeah.
I got another public domain character in 2025's Popeye the Slayer Man.
Yes.
The tagline is, he is what he is. And he does say, I am what I am in the movie, which I was very, very pleased with.
Yeah.
I have to say, I went into this thinking this is going to be the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. really enjoyable, surprisingly. Has an actual decent plot. So the plot is that there's this abandoned cannery down on the docks.
Yeah, spinach
and
factory.
Yeah, it's an abandoned spinach cannery, and everybody's like, oh, the place is haunted, you shouldn't go there, and there's like a corporation that's gonna like knock the place down. And there's a local college with some kids who are like doing film studies, and they're like, hey, like, let's go film at night at this cannery and like do like a documentary on ghosts or some shit.
Yeah.
So one of the girls who's gonna go has a really kind of possessive boyfriend, and he and his friends are super jealous, or he's super jealous of like the camera guy who's gonna go do this, and he's like, oh, are you interested in my girl? And he's like, no, we're just gonna go film in this abandoned cannery, man. And so they go off, and then obviously the boyfriend and his friends follow because he's like, I think she's fucking that dude, let me go stop him.
Yeah.
So while they're in there, you know, they keep talking about the legend of the Slayer Man, who is the guy that worked at the cannery and then went mad because he lost the love of his life, olive oil. And then as it goes along, you find out that the spinach in the factory was contaminated and gave the person, like, it made the people get sick. And then you find out that his wife, Olive Oil, was like an investigative reporter, and she was gonna blow the lid off the case that the cannery operator knew it was infected spinach and was poisoning people, and he had her killed. And so Popeye is not actually a ghost, but he's a real person who has the really bulging forearms and giant chin of Popeye. But the spinach that he continually eats while he's there has made him kind of go crazy and mutate. Yeah. And then it turns out that one of the girls who the whole movie for some reason kept talking about how she's like adopted and this and that and the other, turns out she's Olive Oil and the Slayer Man's kid.
Yeah.
And that's why he's not killing her. And then she's like, I promise I'll reveal like that this corporation was bullshit, and like, how dare they? And I was like, all right, I get it. Like, I'm fucking with this. This is good. And the kills, for those who like horror movies because of the inventive kills, this movie has some great kills, gore. It's really enjoyable. I would probably watch it again. Like, I'm shocked at how much I liked it.
So this was my October 25 watch.
Oh, nice.
And I just want to let you know that I watched the other two Popeye horror movies that came out in 2025.
There were more?
Oh, yeah. Not connected, but... and I'll review those when I get to them. But yeah, this was my October 25 watch, and this is, it's not saying much, the best of the Popeye horror movies.
Oh, right. I think, like, I liked this more. I mean, using, like, public domain character movies.
Yeah.
I liked this more than I liked Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I felt like this was the superior, like, old-timey character public domain movie.
Oh,
that's
totally.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Day 11 was more sci-fi comedy with a horror bend, but I somehow missed this back in 1990. And I'm really mad because I love this movie. I've watched it 4 times since I got this, but it's 1990s sci-fi horror comedy Meet the Applegates.
Oh, yeah.
This movie has Ed Begley Jr., Stockard Channing, and Glenn Shaddix. Yeah. It's about, there's some missionaries in Brazil who are talking to, like, indigenous people and trying to convert them to Christianity, and then there's these, like, giant bug creatures that live in the rainforest that are able to take on the appearance of people, and they have this plot where they want to basically destroy humanity and make the earth for bugs. So they find a book that's like See Dick Run, See Jane Hide, or something like that, like a Dick and Jane book.
Yeah.
And they disguise themselves as people, and they move to this small town in Ohio under the guise of Dick and Jane and their kids. And Ed Begley Jr. gets a job at a power plant. They only eat Butterfingers because they're bugs and they just eat sugar. Like, they keep getting into trouble, and then to get out of trouble, they kill the people that get them, like, that catch them. So, like, the one kid's being bullied, and he, like, wraps the kids up in a cocoon and sticks them in the attic, and then, like, Stalker Channing, like, runs up a bunch of credit cards and, like, spends all their money, and the policeman is, like, trying to arrest her, so she kills him and puts him in a cocoon and, like, hides him in the attic. It's just super cheesy. It's hilarious. There's, like, the queen bug dresses up like an army drill sergeant with a mustache and, like, wears a dress and has everyone refer to him as ma'am. Like, it's just the weirdest. It's so much fun.
Oh, that's great.
It's incredibly. It's a lot of practical effects. Very well done. Super fun.
Yeah.
Super enjoyable.
Nice. My October 11th is one of the top 5 movies that I watched for this 31 for 31. It's on Netflix. It's called Christmas, Bloody Christmas. And imagine a military company, in order to want some good karma out in the company, decides to develop the mechanical Santa Claus that kids can sit on and talk to, and will listen to them and offer, Santa like vibes and stuff like that, right? So there are a bunch of robotic Santa Clauses throughout the city, but we're focused on this one small town, and needless to say, software goes haywire and the robotic Santa Claus starts killing everybody. Now, the good thing about this movie is that there is, like, Tarantino-esque dialogue around the main characters and sort of like the music that they love. It's a bar owner, or not a... Is she? Yeah, she owns a bar, I believe, or something. It's something else. Anyway, she owns some business, and they're wrapping up the business for the night, and they were going to go hang out with their friends who own the toy store where the Santa is down the street. The toy store owners need to do some final things, and then, of course, the Santa goes crazy and ends up going on a rampage through the town, but mainly focuses... it just happens to focus on our main final girl who runs through. Again, this is a great watch. And again, with Christmas coming up and horror movies, this is a lot of fun just to put on. And the dialogue alone will just have you sort of hooked in. But then it's, if you ever wanted to see a giant robotic Santa Claus killing thing.
All I can think about is Futurama right now.
No,
exactly. Yes.
Definite sort of influence from that, for sure. And then my October 12th, which we talked about last week when we made Nate, when we gave Nate some nightmare fuel, was Bring Her Back. So we can
nice.
we can move on.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Oh my god.
Going home.
So Nate, I got a question for you. For day 12, what is scarier than a 4-headed shark, but not as scary as a 6-headed shark?
A 5-headed shark?
So my day 12 was 5-headed shark attack. One of these sci-fi originals. The tagline is, "You can't survive the 5." Misleading, though, the poster has a literal 5-headed shark. While I was watching this, not to be a stickler, it has 4 heads. And I was like, what the hell? And then I was worried, like, oh god, did I make a faux pas? Am I watching 4-headed shark attack?
It's a spiritual
there's like a cat dog situation going on where the tail is the 5th head.
Oh god.
Oh, shut.
And I was like, what the fuck? So this movie is basically, it's essentially a Jaws ripoff, where it takes place in Puerto Rico. There's a sleazebag local aquarium owner that decides they need to boost sales, and what better way to boost sales than hire the literal archetype of your high school bully who never left your hometown, wears a greasy wife beater and a backwards hat, and is like pushing 45 and is like, hey guys, I'm the coolest guy around, I can go get that shark. And so this dude and a bunch of like young 20-year-old women in bikinis decide to go out into the ocean to find the elusive 5-headed shark. And this dude is like the biggest douchebag ever. Also, the sexy bikini-clad women are all marine biologists, and they make a point. They make a point to be like, "I'm not a whatever. I'm a marine biologist." And God, I felt like I wrote down that quote somewhere because I was like,
I wish I'd seen this
"Are you kidding me right now? Like, what the fuck?" And then it goes along. There is a moment in the movie where you think everything's fine, and it has this, like, spring break style thing. Like, we're live from Puerto Rico. Hey, guys, let's go in the water. Woo! And they all run in the water, and then the worst CGI five-headed shark you've ever seen is like, ah! And then they're all like, oh, my God! Ah! And then, like, Douchey McDouchebag is like, well, because it's up to me to kill this shark. And then, like, it's so bad. I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's like an ode to people who peaked in high school and want relevance again, I guess. Right. I have no idea.
That's great.
And then Day 13 gives me the absolute goat. I love this movie in all of its forms, but specifically, this is 1978 George Romero classic Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, yes.
But this is the Argento cut, which was known as Zombie. So, Dawn of the Dead has 3 different cuts. I have all 3 of them because back when Suncoast Video was a thing, I bought the DVD Ultimate Edition.
Nice.
And it had all 3 versions of Dawn of the Dead. It had the theatrical cut, the extended cut, which is the Romero cut, and then the Argento cut, which is Zombie in Italy.
Wow.
So what makes this one different is they rearrange some of the scenes. They take out all of the library cue music, so there's no gonk, there's no other kind of silly music that Romero had in. The entire score is just the Goblin score. It's shorter by about 8 minutes than the regular cut. What was jarring for me is I always watch either the extended or the theatrical cut of this.
Yeah.
It was jarring for me because they do some of the scenes out of order, which I thought was interesting. So that's, I guess, Argento's view on how it should be done. But overall, I mean, this movie is absolute classic. Little bit of a side segue thing. In June, I did a sojourn to the Monroeville Mall in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
For their Living Dead weekend for the 40th anniversary of Day of the Dead.
Dude.
I met a bunch of the actors who were in Dawn of the Dead, or Day of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, wow.
I met the guy who played Johnny in Night of the Living Dead, and when I took a picture with him, he gave me a pair of George Romero's glasses and let me wear them.
What?
It was amazing. Some sad news, the Monroeville Mall was sold to Walmart, and there's plans to demolish it in 2027.
No.
So, if you haven't made it out there and you love this movie as much as I do, it's possible there will be one more Living Dead weekend at the Monroeville Mall next year. Possible. There's the Living Dead Museum there, and they have a bunch of the props from the original Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. I went on a tour of the mall where they took me into the back rooms, and a lot of the stuff, like the bones of the mall, are still the same as in the movie. Yeah. Like the control room's the same, where Flyboy fights the zombie around all the pipes is the same. We went through all the passageways they go through to get to the roof, quote unquote. It's actually in the basement. Yeah. But it was life-changing. Super amazing.
Awesome.
This is one of the best zombie movies ever. It's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway. I digress.
My October 13th was Talk to Me, which we talked about in our last podcast. So go back and listen to what we thought about that, especially Nate's wonderful thoughts on that movie. My October 14th, this started such a weird week for me, and you guys will notice as I go along here, but this is a movie called Fairest of Them All. And let's just imagine... let me just break down a scene for you, okay? So Peter Pan walks into the brothel where Tinkerbell works and decides he's going to save her, right?
Go on.
Okay. Now,
Easy,
Tinkerbell,
Nate, easy.
Tinkerbell, realizing that this is her saving grace, decides to snort one last line of pixie dust.
Oh, Jesus
But
Christ.
plans go south when the Mad Hatter shows up, kills Peter Pan, and takes Tinkerbell back to Wonderland, right? Where Alice is his slave, but he has entrapped 6 other Disney princesses in order to have a Disney princess celebrity death match to find out who the Mad Hatter is going to marry.
Yes.
That did not go the way I thought it was going to. What's the name of this movie again?
This is called Fairest of Them All. This is on
Oh my god.
the cock. Now,
Because of course it is.
of course it is. So there's Ariel, Snow White, Tinkerbell, Cinderella. Who else? Two other Disney princesses that are, but it is literally a celebrity death match. Oh, Belle, and Belle is the Beast in this, right? But she can turn. She's kind of werewolfy, so she can turn when she wants to. But the other princesses have supernatural abilities that help them in their fights.
So, this is a movie and not a video game, right?
No, this is a 100% a movie where the Mad Hatter.
It should be a video
year.
game.
Yeah, where the Mad Hatter is
2025?
literally pitting tournament style, pitting Disney princesses against each other in order to find out which one to marry to uncurse himself from the fairy godmother's curse.
Oh my god.
Makes sense.
That sounds like the kind of movie you would write if you took NyQuil and DayQuil at the same time. Like, you're just like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
Like, what? God.
Shit, is that a thing?
Yeah,
I mean,
is that a thing?
they call it the fairest of them all. I mean,
Fairest of them all. I'm just gonna leave it.
Don't take drugs, kids.
Don't take drugs.
No.
Yeah, drugs are bad. Okay.
Oh my god!
you
guys
should give them to
read
us
some of
instead.
Some of the reviews on IMDb are
Oh, you almost killed me. Nate.
fantastic.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
So I'll just
Holy
leave it
shit.
at that. Fairest of them all. On the
Okay.
top. Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Am I up? I'm up, or?
Yeah. October 14th.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So, day 14, I did not ever know this was even a thing. For those of you familiar with National Lampoon, like Christmas Vacation or Loaded Weapon, they made a horror movie, apparently, in 1982. National Lampoon's Class Reunion.
Oh, that's right.
It's what you expect from National Lampoon. It's a lot of sex jokes, a lot of, really weird, obscure... you had to be there 80s humor, I'm assuming. There's some Exorcist jokes. It does have Garrett Graham, who was in both TerrorVision and Chud 2, so I absolutely love him as an 80s horror actor. It's an 80s National Lampoon absurdist comedy. The plot is basically the class of 72 plays a prank on an unpopular kid, and then 10 years later he's out for revenge. And then it just follows your typical National Lampoon kind of trajectory from there. But it was fun. It was enjoyable. And then day 15 gave me 2022's Nope by Jordan Peele.
Oh.
Yes.
I saw this in theaters. I have to say, so my review of this movie is kind of twofold. For the main part of the movie, I was like, it's okay. And part of that, I will fully admit, is on me, because I went into it like, Get Out was good, Us was just perfection.
Yeah.
What do you have for us now? And I felt like it was really slow moving at parts.
Sure.
I have to say, though, the entire fucking Gordy sequence with the fucking chimpanzee was the most terrifying thing I have ever seen.
I want a whole movie on that.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, holy...
What's with the shoe?
Right.
What's with the freaking shoe?
Oh my god. I was
Yeah.
so... And, like, as somebody who loves all the 80s specials and movies that have a chimpanzee just randomly there, ruined it for me. Now I'm like, run, Golden Girls. What the fuck are you doing?
Hold on
Like,
to your butts. There's a whole movie about this called Primate that comes out in 2026.
Yeah.
oh, no shit. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
I
a
have to
family
see
chimp
that.
that gets possessed, and basically,
Oh my
like a
God.
rescue chimp gets possessed, and the
Oh my
teens
God.
have their friends over because the parents are away or something like that, and everything goes nuts.
I'm going to have to do a movie marathon of all the crazy monkey movies.
Right.
Also, side note, the guy who plays Top Dollar from The Crow is in this.
Yes.
Which I was
nice.
astounded. I was like, why do I know that guy? And I went on IMDb and I was like, shut the fuck up. What?
He's also
Holy
Guy
shit.
of Gisborne. in,
I mean,
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Right.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
But But yeah, I mean, other than that, other than the Gordy stuff, it's just the monster jean jacket sucking people up into his balloon cloaca and then, like, eating them, I guess? I don't know.
Like,
but,
this movie confused me a bit, because, like, I don't know, I got it, but I didn't get it.
It was 100% what me and my wife call the, we're going to have to look this up later to understand the symbolism, right? Type of movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I was like, I like movies with symbolism, but what the actual fuck? And then I had to look it up, and then I was like,
there's horses and the jean jacket and, like, a big jelly alien thing, like...
Yeah, and Gordy.
Yeah, and like, random chimp out of nowhere, like...
Yeah, but I mean, it's worth a watch, 100%. If you want to be traumatized for the rest of your life, watch the Gordy sequence. But other than that, no, it was good. It was enjoyable.
Nice. So after Fairest of Them All stopped, I started to get suggestions from Peacock of what to watch next. And this drove me down such a weird road. So October 15th movie is The Curse of Humpty Dumpty.
Oh my god. You went all out this year, Jesus Christ.
I did.
Steve, are you model making? Because we can hear you.
Oh,
right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So there is two daughters are taking their mother back to their old house out in the country because the mother is starting to lose her sanity. As they settle in, they go to an antique shop and see I would say a little person-sized Humpty Dumpty doll that the mother recognizes and they used to have. Sure enough, the doll is possessed, and in this movie sort of operates when you don't look at it, it can move, right? And it will murder you if it gets to you in time, and then the whole face changes, and it turns out it's a demon, right? And then they even go and explain that the old nursery rhyme of Humpty Dumpty actually had a much darker turn until they made it, the fun what it is. And so as long as the Humpty Dumpty doll doesn't take the fall, it'll be fine. Well, it takes a fall, and it starts to murder everybody in the house. This movie's just about as good as you think it is. After this one was done, of course, it recommended the sequel, The Cult of Humpty Dumpty. So it's the same Humpty Dumpty doll, but now it is owned by a cult out in the wilderness that is a sort of a green living cult. They're trying to recycle everything and reuse everything, but what they're really recycling and reusing are the people. So
people.
there are
it's
6.
Always people.
6 young co-eds come in and start to work on this, and sure enough, Humpty Dumpty, with different rules now, he's sort of up and walking, and they don't care if you can see him or not. He's just sort of there and doing it. It turns out he is possessed by a trickster demon in this one, and out murdering everybody. This wasn't as good as The Curse of Humpty Dumpty, but sure enough, that was October 16th. So, Steve, feel free.
Jesus. Okay. Not as exciting as Humpty Dumpty. Day 16. This is the second time I've seen this movie, but I felt like, let me watch it again and see if it's any different. And I did actually find it enjoyable on the rewatch. Was 2024's Woman in the Yard. This movie is about a woman who just kind of sits there menacingly in a yard. No, but realistically, like you do, covered in a black shawl. And,
right.
But the movie's interesting because you don't know what the hell's happening. Like, it starts out and there's a mom and she's watching videos of somebody you assume is her husband, and he's no longer with us, and then her kids and her live on a farm, and they are kind of struggling out doing farm life, and then her son's just like, Mom, there's some woman, like, sitting in the yard, and she's like, oh, okay. So she goes out like any parent would and was like, the fuck you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm good, dear, I'm fine. And then it's like, alright, cool, like, what the hell? And it just kind of unfolds from there. overall, the movie is it's a horror movie dealing with themes of trauma, regret, loss, and sadness.
Yeah.
Basically. I can't go into any more details about anything because it's one of those movies where everything intertwines and everything makes sense. So even going a little further will spoil it, so I don't want to spoil it. But it was decent. It was a decent watch. It was very sad, so I'll say that. It
was. Yeah.
Day 17, I love this movie, and this is special for me because even though I didn't roll this one, I picked this one because this is the first horror movie I watched with my daughter.
Oh.
And so we watched 2019's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, yes.
I grew up with these books. I remember when they came in 3 different volumes. I still have my paperback and my hardback copy with the original artwork by Stephen Gamble that traumatized the shit out of
Stuff
me.
of nightmares, dude.
And
let's bring our 11-year-old into that.
Oh, no, she was like... The whole movie, as kids will do, when she wasn't going 6, 7... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, she was asking me, like, did this really scare you? Did this really scare you? As I'm, like, having, like, a heart attack because my childhood nightmare come to life. The where's my toe lady is coming through the house. And I'm like, I'm screaming. And my daughter's like, that scared you? And I'm like, silence. What the hell?
So I have to tell a segue, a little story about this. I was just camping with friends of mine with, I think, an 11-year-old. I think he's 11-year-old. Mm-hmm. And, like, we read the book to him. And, like, made the voices of, where is my toe? And he's like, this isn't scary at all. And it's like, look at these pictures. They're scary as fuck. This is traumatizing. And he's like, no. Right. Not scary. I'm like... Damn it!
If he's an 11-year-old like my daughter, he's like, every day is a waking nightmare. You're like, okay, fine, I get it. Jesus. Back in the 80s, this is what we had to be scared of, okay? Like,
dude, read in the right voice, these stories are horrifying.
Oh, no, they're terrifying. And Guillermo del Toro, like, he did amazing work. The practical effects in this are so good. I loved the way they actually crafted a story of this. Now what pisses me off is that this came out to a kind of lukewarm reception. They set it up perfectly for a fucking sequel, and they're likely never going to make a sequel. And it makes me so mad. Because there's still so much they could do with it, and it was such an amazing experience, and it just hurts to know they're just kind of dropping it there and moving on. But what can you do?
Right. So on that note, not wanting more out of the story and to be able to finish the story, of course my October 17th watch was the final film in the trilogy, The Madness of Humpty Dumpty, where we go back to the roots of the first movie, where we have a family back at the farmhouse, and sure enough, the magic and the thrill and the lore behind the Humpty Dumpty of the first movie is back for this movie. Except we're now following a younger couple that has inherited the house, and he's a writer and she's an artist. And sure enough, Humpty Dumpty shows up at the house, like is uncovered in the cellar of this house as they're going through it. And of course, shenanigans come up, right, and happen. But this is a wonderful wrap up to the Humpty Dumpty trilogy, let me tell you. And don't watch these movies.
I was going to say, Andy, how much are you getting paid by the creators of Humpty Dumpty?
He's in the pocket of Big Dumpty.
Right. So, naturally, Peacock suggested my next watch, which is, in the nursery rhyme era, Jack and Jill. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Jack and Jill are orphaned up on that hill and murder any hikers that come through.
Oh my God.
You're selling it for me. Keep going.
Andy, what the fuck?
There's a little bed and breakfast out to the side of this hill, and it becomes turns out that Jack and Jill's mom was an escaped mental patient who was sexually assaulted by one of the orderlies at the mental hospital. She has the twins in the hospital, but then 5 years in, she escapes with them, runs up the hill, is getting followed by the orderly, and realizes that she can't go on when she gets injured, and she tells the kids to keep running over the hill. But sure enough, they stop at a cabin on the hill, make it their home, and again start this string of murders on the hill.
Oh my god.
The
Andy,
place
you
becomes.
know, there are other channels besides Peacock. You know this, right?
He was just addicted to the cock this year.
It just, you know, I couldn't get off the cock this year.
Oh my god. My mom listens to this podcast.
My mom
Anyway.
does too.
That was my
That
October
was my
18th
joke.
watch. Steve, save the podcast.
Yes. Oh, okay, so this movie, day 18. I feel like I don't have cable, I don't have the cock. I feel like I just live in a cave. I don't hear about when popular movies come out. So somehow I missed 2018's Annihilation.
Oh, I love this
dude.
movie so much.
But everybody I know is like, oh my god, how did you not know about that? How did
Right.
you not know about that? The sound is all over TikTok, like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I didn't see it. So I almost recommended this. This was going to be my recommendation for Nate. But when I heard you were doing Talk to Me, I was like, oh, he needs to watch Bring Her Back.
Yeah.
Similarly, because like how I wanted Nate to deal with the knife scene, so I'm not alone in that.
I've seen Annihilation. I saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
bear.
The freaking bear. Oh my
yeah.
god. I was like, the whole movie, I was like watching it and I was like, okay, fair enough, sure. And when that fucking bear came on screen, I was like every summer I go up to Tahoe, and I walk at night alone while I polish my monocle and wear my top hat. But I'm always like, where my parents live in Tahoe, there's a bear in the place.
Yeah.
And I've run into it numerous times at night and been like, get out of here, bear, and just make a bunch of noise.
Says, good day, and
Never the fuck again. I'm going to be walking through the woods and this like massive skeletal bear is going to come out and just start screaming in my friend's voice at me. And I'm going to be like, I'm not equipped to deal with this shit. I'm not Natalie Portman.
Right.
I'm not Oscar Isaac. Like, what the fuck?
IMDb scores this as 6.8, and that bear is worth 1.8, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The rest of those
Oh my God.
are water.
For real, like the rest of the movie was like, okay, fair enough, sure, fine. The minute that bear came on screen, I was like, there's the horror. Holy shit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was genuinely one of the scariest things I've seen in a movie. I was like, oh my god.
Nice.
As a weirdo, the last 30 minutes of that movie are so cool. Like just like the sound and the alien thing. Like just
if only the 60 minutes prior could have been as good. I mean, that was what dragged it down. I felt like it took so long to get where it was going, but then once it got there, I was like, oh wow, this is great. So, oh my god.
yeah.
So
and I keep hearing read the book. I have the book on.
I
my
keep
Kindle,
hearing the
and,
same.
Yeah, I'm trying to read it. I'm just not
Yeah,
mentally
I'm gonna
now able to
I'm gonna
read
try
it.
to read. No, I got you. I'm gonna try to read the book once I'm reading Salem's Lot. So once I finish that,
nice.
I'm gonna read the Annihilation. So day 19 comes back to, you said save the podcast. I'll do it the only way I know how. With, is this a porn or is this an actual movie?
Yes.
It was 1989's Slashdance. This is a movie that takes place in LA, and there's a woman named Tori who's a cop, who her colleagues describe her as, quote, the best man for the job, but then they also hypersexualize her, like, nonstop, to which raises its own host of questions. But it's about a woman cop named Tori who's trying to find a serial killer who murders young women when they audition at a local theater. It's similar to Night Killer. It's like, you could tell they were trying to maybe make a porn, and then they were like, well, horror movies are really popular. Let's just throw some slasher scenes in here. It was just like, what the hell? And also, I love the name Slashdance.
Yeah.
It's basically if Scream and Flashdance, like,
Had a baby.
That was
that was boring. That's like, and the baby just kind of sat there like babies do, and you were like, do something, and they were like, you have to wait till they're at least crawling, and then you're like, okay, fine, like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know. So, but yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, there was a great segment on KMBR that was called Steakhouse or Gay Bar, where they would give you the name of an establishment and you had to guess whether it was a steakhouse or a gay bar.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I think we need to do that with porn or horror movie.
Wait, now I want to hear some of the steakhouse names that were
I'll,
questionable enough to be a gay bar.
I gotta get some of the names. I have them somewhere written down.
You know, they're all going to be
There's a
like
peacock
rawhide
joke in
or
there
something.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
Anyway.
Rawhide
Yeah.
peacock. No,
Meat
that's actually
pocket,
really good
you know?
stuff.
Right. So, my October 19th watch and my obsessive need for completion takes me to Jack and Jill, The Hills of Hell. That is right. The second
You
movie.
watched a second one?
The second
You're
movie
killing
in
me
this
here.
series,
Killing me.
again, which expands on
Holy.
the lore. This is really the Empire Strikes Back of this series, and I say Empire Strikes
Oh my
Back
God.
because the next day I watched Jack and Jill 3. That's right, damn
No,
it. They made
you-
3 movies.
I have to second guess
Andy.
everything you've ever said now. This is
You can ask us for horror movie recommendations. Like, you have a wealth of
Yeah,
knowledge
I-
here.
So this, you should have heard me as I was watching these, because I like, as the credits are rolling, it brings up the suggestions, right? Like any good app does. And I'm just audibly out loud, I'm like, holy shit, they made another one.
Oh my god.
sweet baby Jesus, make it stop.
Right, yeah.
We need that
I
like
do
Bush
appreciate
meme. Like
your
another Jack
your
and Jill has hit the timeline.
There are no redeeming qualities to any of these movies. The second movie does end on a great sort of cliffhanger where it turns out that one of the people that were following in the movie is actually a mom looking for her daughter, but at the end of the movie it turns out Jack and Jill are just ultimately wanting to replace their mother. So they bring the
Jesus
mother
Christ.
into the cave where they're living and adopt her as their mom. And in order to survive, she agrees.
Oh my god.
But then Jack and Jill 3 goes everything off the rails and just more senseless killing. And we learn nothing about sort of where they are and where they're going. Maybe they're making Jack and Jill 4. Who knows? Next year, I'll let you guys know. Steve?
Oh, please keep me updated. I'm invested in the lore of Jack and Jill.
right.
Yep.
And the fact that it seems more of like a mountain than a hill at this point.
Yeah,
Yes,
Requiem
yeah.
is for sure getting added to Jack and Jill 4. We know that's going to be
Right,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So day 20, it's weird that I would see 2 horror movies based on the Jolly Chimp Symbol Monkey in 1 year, but here we are. So this movie called The Jolly Monkey, weirdly enough, this is like a straight to Tubi horror movie.
Yeah.
This had a more cohesive and more enjoyable plot than The Monkey, which was in theaters. The Monkey was awful. It was one of the worst movies. I was in the theater texting my wife, like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. Literally. Like, I didn't pay, like, I paid $5 for a matinee, and that was $5 too much. But
Right.
conversely, The Jolly Monkey, this Tubi knockoff, is about a movie. It's about a motel that's out in the middle of nowhere called the Jolly Monkey Hotel, and there's a kindly older couple that runs it. And when a family with a little girl, their car breaks down, they stay at the Jolly Monkey Hotel, and they have a bunch of symbol monkeys all over the place. And the girl points out, totally not a red flag, a bunch of Polaroid pictures on the wall of other little girls holding a symbol monkey.
Oh, no.
And she goes, what are those? And the old man's like, oh, well, those are our Jolly Chimpettes or some shit like that. And he's like, do you want to be one? And she's like, hell yeah.
Oh,
And then,
God.
like, she takes her picture with a Polaroid, and they're like, we'll add you to the wall. And she's like, okay. And then that night, surprise, surprise, a life-size Jolly Chimp kills her parents. Fast forward now, grandparents are dead, And like all families do when our grandparents die, they get together in mourning and bicker and argue about who gets the motel and who gets the Jolly Chimps and who gets the dresses and et cetera, et cetera. And they're all like the worst people you know fighting over who's going to get the hotel, and they're just, every single one of these people is insufferable. There's two Gen Z kids who are just kind of there like rolling their eyes as their mom is like, I want this place, it's very special to me, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, she mentions at one point, totally unprompted, that one night when she was little, she thought she saw her dad, quote-unquote, dressing a deer in one of the hotel rooms, but it didn't quite look like a deer, and everyone's like, okay, Mom, you're being weird again. And then that's it. And then, like, one by one, all of these horrible family members just start getting offed by a life-size Jolly Chimp with cymbal hands. And then all of a sudden, like, it just kind of meanders to the point where they find Grandpa's kill room, and the Gen Z kids are like, Mom, what the fuck? And then Mom is there, and she's like, hey there, Gen Z daughter, like, I have something I need to confess to you. See, when I was a kid, I wasn't very popular, and my dad wanted to show me he loved me, so he kind of killed all the parents that would stop by the motel, and then have their daughters play with me as friends, and then when their daughters were like, I don't want to play with you anymore, you killed my parents, what the fuck? He just killed them, and then took their face, and then tanned it, and then put it on a Jolly Chimp, and then I kept it like a souvenir. So these are all my friends, and then you realize all the Jolly Chimps have this creepy, like, human leathery face. And then the Gen Z daughter's like 6, 7 and starts throwing them in a fire, and Mom is like, no, what are you doing? Those are my friends. And then out of fucking nowhere, like, ghosts and spirits start leaving the Jolly Chimps and start swirling around the room, and you're like, what the fuck is this? But then they just disappear, and you're like, okay, I guess that's going nowhere. Like, they started doing it, and they were like, there was a guy with the budget in the corner, like, tapping his watch, and they were like, fuck, we don't have the budget for this. Just forget that we ever did it. And then, like, the kids escape. There's some Sharknado quality VFX of the hotel and the cars burning. Nice. That was like straight out of Birdemic, where it's like they have like a clip art of a fire on top of a car. It was just so bad. And then like it showed, they're setting it up for a sequel because it shows a half-burned cymbal monkey in the parking lot that all of a sudden as the camera pans to it, it goes cling, 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 nice. And then it fades to black.
Sure.
All of this was better than The Monkey, which was in theaters. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Jesus That's Christ.
Dude, I just wrote that down. I gotta watch this.
Oh, my God. And then Day 21 is a very weird horror movie from 1986 called The Wind. It's a very odd movie. It's about a writer who's a woman who's a writer, and she wants to go to this secluded Greek island to work on her writing. And this movie co-stars Wings Hauser, who is a actor that I only know him from Champagne and Bullets, which is also known as Get Even, which is also known as Road to Revenge, which is like a vanity project of this lawyer who wanted to be in an action movie, but like obviously he's not an actor, so he paid to have a horror, like a movie made where he's the action star, and he somehow got Wings Hauser, probably paid him in cocaine to be in the movie. Oh, wow. And like, so he's in the movie, and he's like a groundskeeper for this like American guy's chateau that this woman is renting. And within minutes of meeting her, he's like, "Oh, you're a writer? What do you write?" And she's like, "Mystery novels." Like, and he's like, "Oh, do you kill characters?" And she's like, "I certainly do." He's like, "I kill people too." And she's like, "Ha ha ha." And then, like, seconds later, is like, oh shit, he's not kidding. And then the rest of the thing tries to be this, like, cat and mouse style thriller. But it's like, dude literally told you he's a murderer, like, seconds into meeting him. So it's more just, like, an incompetent one. The reason it's called The Wind is because for some reason there's this, like, really strong supernatural wind that occasionally goes through the island that really doesn't have any bearing on the plot until the very end when he's about to kill her. And then the wind, like, blows him off the island and she gets away, but then you see that he might not actually be dead. And it's just... it was boring as shit, but it had Wings Hauser, and it allowed me a segue to talk about Get Even, which is amazing. So...
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
All right.
that. Back to you, Andy.
Excellent. So my October 21st, obviously I was getting some epic suggestions now from Peacock after watching the Humpty Dumpty trilogy and the Jack and Jill trilogy. And that led me to Popeye's Revenge. Now, this is not Popeye the Slayer Man that you watched earlier. This is a completely separate movie, not connected to Popeye the Slayer Man. This is called Popeye's Revenge. Now, Popeye in this movie is a deformed kid and deformed with the huge forearms, but was constantly teased at school when he was a young kid. But one day fought back and smashed the kid's face together with eyes that popped out, which is why he got the nickname Popeye.
Popeye.
Great backstory for the name, right? Anyway, this is not as good. This is not as good as Popeye the Slayer Man, which I watched later in my watch. He doesn't talk at all during the movie, Popeye. He was drowned in a olive oil was actually a friend, so he gets locked up in a room after the grammar school incident, and is getting fed cans of spinach, right? But somebody ends up inheriting the house. They go out to the house, and sure enough, there was a local sort of rumor that Popeye drowned in the swamp. He did not. He's still alive. He's still terrorizing the property. And, of course, shenanigans ensue. So I didn't find out about the other two Popeye movies until later. So I moved on to Easter Bunny's Revenge.
So wait, what's the original Easter Bunny movie?
I'm sorry. It's not Revenge. It's called the Easter Bunny Massacre.
Oh, okay.
My fault. This is the Easter Bunny Massacre.
I was like, wait, Revenge? That's the sequel.
So these are people that go to friends. It's kind of a I Know What You Did Last Summer, in a way, where a friend in a friend group gets killed during a night of drugs and drinking on camping, but then there was this weird bunny mask, and then sure enough, a year later, they start getting taken out by a person in the bunny mask, and of course you need to find out who that is. And of the movies that I watched in the last week in this watch, this actually was one of the better movies, believe it or not. I'm just going to leave that there. Steve?
I mean, Jesus, I kind of want to just hear Andy's adventures through the cock. I mean, Jesus Christ. So I think
it's a little gold book that you read to children.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think the book is black, actually.
Oh God. So Joe is gonna, I think, resonate with me on this one for my day 22. As somebody who was goth in the 90s, I really felt like this movie was just straight up cultural appropriation of my culture. Day 22 gave me The Craft Legacy from 2020.
Nice.
I have not watched this yet because
of
cultural appropriation.
Oh my God. So this movie is about a bunch of Gen Z kids who dress like 90s goth kids.
Yeah.
Who adopt 90s goth slang and who listen to 90s goth music and like 90s rock music. And I'm just like, this is my culture. Leave me alone. What the fuck? Anyway, as far as like a Craft sequel, it actually is not terrible. It definitely dials up the cheesiness of The Craft. And it has a lot more of this kind of modern day Gen Z, like, let's be nice to people, we don't know their struggle type of thing going on.
Yeah.
I was more offended by the cultural appropriation, I will say that much. But interestingly enough, it also stars none other than Fox Mulder himself, David Duchovny.
Right.
Who, the main character, her mom, or her adopted mom, starts dating David Duchovny, and they move in together, and she plays him the song by Bree Sharp, David Duchovny, Why Won't You Love Me? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, okay, great. Not literally, I just wanted a way to slide that in. So then, like, he has his own sons, and one of his sons commits suicide, and then the coven that they form at school decide to break up because they were like, oh shit, we were doing magic and now the kid killed himself. We can't do magic anymore. We have to bind ourselves. And I'm like, you can't bind yourself before you summon Manon. I mean, come on now.
Right.
Later on, Fox Mulder decides that he's going to out himself as being a double agent working for a pagan cult, and that he specifically started dating this girl's mom because he wanted to steal the adopted daughter's magic. They have some really cheesy ass magic battle, and then after that the mom is like, I think it's time you meet your real mom. And she's like, oh, my real mom. And then they take her to meet none other than my childhood crush, Firuza Balk, who is her real mom, Nancy Downs, at an insane asylum. So it turns out Nancy, I guess, was pregnant at the end of The Craft, and her daughter is now in The Craft Legacy.
Okay, yeah.
So
Had
the
no
only thing
idea
this
about
movie
that
was,
because
yeah.
like I never watched, like I watched like the first 5 minutes and was like, nope, turning it off, putting on the original Craft. Fuck you, I'm done.
The original is way better. This one, I mean, it was not bad, but I was like, come on now, really? Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh man, Firuza Balk's in it, and they
Firuza Balk's in it for 2 seconds,
like a minute.
at the very end. It
Yeah.
it literally is like, here's your mom, and she turns her head, and then it does like the Linkin Park song, and then it says directed by Michael Bay. You know,
Right.
You're like, what? Just kidding. Exactly. It's like, what? Why did you end it this way? Day 23.
Giving a voiceover during the song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Voice
100%.
goes out to all the remaining Autobots across
Right.
the stars.
Oh, man. Day 23 is, I will say, one of not only the best 90s horror movies ever made, and I will fight you people on it. It is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It is John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. It is so good. If you've never seen it, this is a movie. It's a very kind of eldritch horror, H.P. Lovecraft type movie. Yep. It has Sam Neill of Jurassic Park fame, where he is like a private detective, and he's hired by a publishing company where who's the other guy, the from my Cold Dead Hands guy, Planet of the Apes, Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Charlton Heston.
The other guy, not Clint Eastwood.
No, they're both like old gun guys. One of them yelled at a chair, the other one died. Anyway.
I mean, not him. I'm Spartacus, that guy.
Yes. So basically, the plot is that Charlton Heston's publishing company, they say, our author Sutter Kane is missing, and he's about to release his latest book, and we need you to find him. Like, his book readers are fanatics. Like, they're going to flip out if he's missing. Like, we need you to find out what the hell is happening with this book. So Sam Neill is a skeptic, and he's like, okay, like, whatever. I'll find this guy. It's probably some publicity stunt. So he finds out from cutting different covers of books and putting them together that if you overlay a map of New England, specifically New Hampshire, over it, that he's hiding out in the fictional town of Hobbs End, which is the name of his last book. And so he and this publisher lady are going to go find Sutter Kane and bring him back to basically release his book. So while all of this is happening, there's people who very clearly look like they're being driven insane that are showing up to Sam Neill. Like, he's at a cafe and he's talking to somebody, and this dude with like sores on his face and an axe like walks up and he crashes through the window and he climbs onto the table and he's like, do you read Sutter Kane? And Sam Neill's like, what the fuck? So they go to Hobbs End, which is like, they almost traverse into this like alternate dimension, and they get to Hobbs End, and there Sutter Kane is kind of this like lord over the people in the town, and all the people in the town are characters from his horror books, and there's like Lovecraftian creatures and people being sacrificed and crazy stuff happening. And then basically Sutter Kane tells Sam Neill, like, you're gonna be my prophet, you're gonna go back and tell people like this is how the world ends. And then he goes back and he's in an insane asylum this whole time. So when you first meet Sam Neill, he's in an insane asylum, and he's telling you the story of what happened to him and why he's in an insane asylum. Not going to spoil the ending, but it kind of goes from there. But it is so phenomenal. It's a John Carpenter film.
Yeah.
I love John Carpenter. All around amazing. The ending is like, what the shit? Like, it's so good. Yeah, I love this movie.
Nice.
And back to you, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. All right, so my October 23rd movie, again, feeling the need to sort of redeem myself after the weird week I went through, led me to a movie called Cinderella's Curse. And this was actually a really, really good movie. So what if Cinderella, instead of going to the ball and having her dance with Prince Charming, was mocked, a la Carrie style, and driven to then break that glass slipper and start stabbing people with it. So that's exactly what this is. She is basically, this is a what if Cinderella ended up like Carrie, and it's fantastic. It's a great watch. The stepsisters and the stepmom are awful. The prince is a dick. And just they bait her into coming to the ball and then completely mock the shit out of her while she's there. And of course that sparks the murder spree that Cinderella goes on. And instead of having the fairy godmother, there is a Necronomicon type book that she finds in the house that summons demons that give her the tools that end up helping her get to the ball and look amazing, but also help her murder the whole lot of everybody there. So, Cinderella's Curse, and that ended a 8 streak on the cock that I decided to move over to Hulu for my next movie, which was the 2025 remake of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, with Micah Monroe and Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Martin Starr and Ricky Lindholm. This is a solid retell of the story. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is one of those girls that does it for me. So I'm gonna watch anything with her in it. But this is a really good telling of this movie, and she plays the mom of the daughter that they hire Micah Monroe to come in and watch. And, yeah, it is a very good retelling of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. The original has a soft spot in my heart, just because Rebecca De Mornay is just deliciously evil in that movie. But again, this was a solid redux. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Back to you, sir.
All right, day 24. I somehow have never seen this one, but this is the 9th installment of the Friday the 13th series. Jason Goes to Hell. I thought we had peaked as a society when Jason took Manhattan. However, apparently he needed to go to hell as well.
Yeah.
So here we are. I was a little sad that the random CGI worm on the cover of this movie does not show up anywhere in the movie, which was kind of sad. But this is such a weird deviation from all the previous Friday the 13th. Not that there was much like consistently going on there to begin with, but like it starts out like every Friday the 13th movie with Jason chasing down some helpless lady. He's chasing her through like a log cabin out in the woods, and then all of a sudden, like, just like massive amounts of SWAT personnel and people show up and they blow him up and they shoot him up and they like hit him with like a mortar or something, and he like blows into multiple pieces, and so he dies in the beginning. And then as he's dying, there's some random ass bounty hunter out in the woods watching them kill him, and he's like, "That's not how you kill Jason Voorhees." And then like they bring his like dismembered body to this morgue where these people are working on him, and then the evil power that possesses Jason, I guess, convinces one of the morgue workers to eat his heart and become Jason. So then he starts going around killing people. And then there's the weirdest... I had to write down this quote because I was like, what the actual fuck does that even mean? There's the bounty hunter guy who was just lurking in the woods, is like doing a interview with like a newscaster, and the guy asks him like, "What does Jason Voorhees make you think of?" or something like that, or "What do you think of like people killing Jason Voorhees?" And he's like, "Well, that makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut hole."
Oh.
And I'm like,
Whoa.
what the fuck does that mean, bro? Like, should we be checking your...
There it is. We found
I'm like, should we check your hard drive?
so
Like,
far.
I was like, what is happening here? So then the movie basically carries on where Jason, like, every body he possesses inevitably falls apart because it's not a Voorhees, and he needs to possess a Voorhees. And then there's miraculously a Voorhees who's still alive, and he's making his way downtown, walking fast, homebound for her. And then he gets her.
Oh my god.
And then when he gets her, you know, he shows up and he's like, "I walked 500 miles, I'm going to walk 500 more. I just want to be the man to possess you." And then the bounty hunter shows up and he's like, "Nuh-uh, girl with a donut." And then he kills her. And then he dies. And I'm like, okay. And then this is the only thing I knew about this movie was this twist ending in 1993 was the talk of the schoolyard, which is that the iconic hockey mask hits the ground and Freddy's claw comes out of the ground and says, like, "I'm not done with you yet," and drags it down.
Yeah,
and everybody was like, holy shit, Freddy vs. Jason. And then we had to wait 7 years for it.
Right.
When it finally came out. And between that and this, Jason decided to go to space because why not?
Yes.
So,
Because everybody
you
goes
know,
to space.
Everybody goes to space at some
Everybody
point.
goes to space.
Yeah, he's completing his Muppet movie trifecta, okay? Leave him alone.
Exactly. I was like, what the fuck? So I mean, it was definitely weird. I still like Jason Takes Manhattan more, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh man, day 26. I missed this one, and it's interesting. But it's day 26 is or sorry, no, day 25. I skipped one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Day 25. I'll get to day 26 later. Day 25 is 1992's Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. It's the
I'm sorry.
Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. It started out amazing. It starts out, there's a car driving, they're listening to Suicidal Tendencies. I was like, holy shit, this movie's going to be amazing. And there's this, like, weird, grizzled biker guy who, like, you know, takes somebody's car and he kills a priest, and then he's picked up by this scantily clad young lady. And then he's like, "Hey, girl, you look pretty good." And she's like, "Oh, I'm just a helpless woman." And then he's like, "Pull over, we're gonna fuck. Like, Andy likes the cock." And then they're like, "Okay." And then she pulls
This
she
is
pulls
a
over.
direct translation. From the movie.
This is directly
This is direct
quoted.
quote.
How they knew about Andy, and I was amazed. But so
It
then,
was
like,
known.
as they're about to get, like, as he's about to basically assault her, she kills him and then brings his body back to Auntie Lee, who makes meat pies out of him. And then you find out that Auntie Lee basically has this cadre of, like, scantily clad young women who she sends out into the world to get men who are going to abuse them because they think they're bimbos, and then they kill them and bring them back to be turned into meat pies. This movie, surprisingly, has Pat Morita in it, which I was like, what are you doing, sir? Like, Mr. Miyagi, what's going on here? What are you doing? There are some really weird sequences where, like, a hair metal band gets picked up, and then, like, they get killed one by one, and, like, that's basically the whole plot of the movie. It doesn't really go anywhere else from there. It just kind of is... Yeah, like, there's a woman, she makes meat pies, and then she gets found out because one of the scantily clad women falls in love with, like, a guy who comes to town and is looking for one of the people she killed, and then they're like, we need to put a stop to this, and that's basically the plot of the movie. It was interesting, but, you know.
Yeah. So my 25 and 26 watches, again, my need for completion. I felt the need to finish the unconnected Popeye horror movie trilogy. I watched what you watched earlier in your watch, Popeye the Slayer Man, which is the strongest of the three movies, but not to be shorted up by the movie Shiver Me Timbers, which has no watchable qualities whatsoever.
Did they really name it Shiver Me Timbers?
They really named it Shiver Me Timbers. It's on Tubi.
And it's not a porn?
It is not a porn.
I was going to say porn or horror movie.
No, there might be like side boob in it at some point, but it was there's no redeemable quality of this movie. I felt so bad for watching this movie that that night I ended up watching a bonus movie, which was one of my probably my favorite watch was Weapons.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I won't say too much about Weapons because it is a fucking fantastic movie. It's got Thanos and the Silver Surfer in it, and it is just. It's one of those movies where it's like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? And then when you find out what's going on, you're just like, oh man, this is fucking fantastic. And then the resolution is so satisfying at the end that it is just an amazing watch. So, yeah, don't worry about the Popeye movies. Watch Weapons because it's fucking fantastic. Yeah. So,
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, Weapons wasn't in my list, but I saw Weapons, and holy shit, it was really good.
Yeah.
I really was, and what I like, so it's the same guy.
No spoilers, please.
No spoilers. It's the same guy who did Barbarian.
Right.
And nice. I'm so glad that, unlike Barbarian, where it was 3 interconnected movies but shown out of order, he does a similar filming style, but they all are in order, which made me happy. So I was like, "Thank you, sir. I appreciate that."
and then I don't know if you heard about this, but when they showed, I think they re-released Weapons in theaters, and they had all of the theater listings show at 2:17. So they had the movie start in the middle of the day at 2:17.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
Right.
It's like
anyway,
my brain.
When you watch the movie, you'll understand.
Yes,
but it was a
I
great
get it
little
now.
Easter egg for the movie. So
very
So anyway,
nice.
that was my 25 and 26 with the bonus of Weapons. So.
Nice. No, Weapons is amazing.
Oh. So
opposite of Weapons. My day 26 was 2019's Vivarium. I went into this with like hopeful thoughts. I was like, the poster looks cool, like the trailer looks interesting, I wonder what it's about. And within the first like literal title sequence, they basically tell you what the plot of the movie is. And I'm like, cool, thanks guys. Like, so the movie starts out with like a nature footage of a oh my god, are they mockingbirds or whatever the fuck the birds are that like they infiltrate the nest and they push out the other baby birds and they convince the mama bird to feed them until they get like much bigger and then they kill the mom.
Oh yeah.
I think they're mockingbirds. But anyway, so there's that. And then it has the guy who played Zuckerberg in The Social Network and I forget the lady actress's name. But they're like, we're looking to buy a house, maybe have a kid one day. So they go into this like planned development where all the houses look the same, and they meet with a very weird, socially awkward guy. And I'm a very weird, socially awkward guy. So I was like, okay, like makes sense. He went into realty, I went into therapy, whatever. We do what we do. And then like they're looking at the house, and he's like, well, like you guys are gonna live here. This is gonna be great. And they're like, well, we're just looking. We're not gonna like actually live here. And he's like, sure you won't. Bye. And he disappears, and they're like, well, that was weird, let's leave. And then they try to leave the location they're at, and just the neighborhood just keeps repeating, and there's no way out, and they're now trapped. And they go back home, and there's an infant in the house, and they're like, what the fuck, there's an infant here. Tell me why the fuck these people just decide, like, well, I guess we gotta care for this baby now, like, we just live here. And then, like, randomly food gets dropped off at their house that keeps them alive, and this baby, within a matter of, like, 14 days, grows from being an infant to being a toddler to being, like, a 8-year-old. And they're not at all like, this is weird. And then, like... Zuckerberg like tries digging in the yard, and he's like, the ground is totally fake, I'm gonna keep digging down till I hit something. And like it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. And then like all of a sudden Zuckerberg gets sick and he ends up dying, and then they get like a body bag delivered to them to put him in, and the mom is like starting to go crazy, and she's convinced that this child is like her child, and like the kid has to watch this weird like TV program with like a design on the TV or something, and then she eventually figures out like the kid is probably some sort of weird human mockingbird hybrid. I need to kill it. And then it starts running through all these alternate dimension things, and she starts chasing him, and then she dies. And then he goes back to the real estate agent hub, and the real estate agent that was there who showed them the house is now an old man and is dying, and he basically like shoves him in a broom closet and then takes his role, and then the movie repeats. And that's it. And I was like, this is so dumb. Like, what? There was no explanation of, like, where the fuck they were, how the fuck they were kept alive, like, what? Nothing. And I was like, I just wasted so many hours of my life on this. What the fuck? Conversely, my day 27 is one of my favorite new quote-unquote zombie movies because of how it does zombies. And I absolutely love it. Is 2014's Cooties. Cooties, surprisingly, so it has Rainn Wilson and it has Elijah Wood. Nice. And it's about a small town in, I want to say, Illinois. Either Illinois or Indiana, one of those states in the Midwest. And Elijah Wood goes back to his childhood home, and he gets a job as a substitute teacher at the local elementary school. And he runs into, like, a childhood crush of his who's a teacher there. And she's dating Rainn Wilson, who's this, like, jock PE teacher guy who's, like, totally jealous, thinking, like, his girlfriend and Elijah Wood are, like, gonna, like, sneak off together. And so in this small Midwest town, there's a chicken processing plant. And one of the chickens is infected and gets killed and then pressed into chicken nuggets, which then get delivered to the school.
Oh, no.
And the kids that eat the chicken nuggets at the school become infected and then become zombies. And they start... all the kids start, like, eating one another in the schoolyard, but all the teachers are, like, in the teacher's lounge talking about, like, oh, man, I could use a drink. Like, yeah, me too. And, like, in the background, in the playground, you see all the kids, like, attacking each other and then, like, taking down teachers and stuff. Oh, and then it's basically all the teachers are trapped in the school as all the zombie kids are, like, trying to get to them. And one of the funniest sequences I've ever seen is where they're like, okay, all we have to do is we have to wait till 2:30, and then the parents are going to pick up the kids, and then we'll be safe. And they're like, yes! So then they all get up to the roof, and all the parents pull up to pick up the kids, and then they realize, wait, all the kids are zombies. They're going to kill the parents. So they start screaming at the parents and trying to flag them down, but all the parents are obviously working parents, and they're on their Bluetooth, or they're on the phone. So their zombie kids, like, run into the car and start eating the parents. And they're like, what the hell? Later you find out there's a kid on campus who was bit by a zombie kid but isn't turning, and then they find out that the reason they're not turning is that the virus only affects you if you haven't gone through puberty yet, or you haven't had, like, your period yet, or you're not having your hormones or whatever. And so then they decide, like, they have to leave the school, and so they escape. And Rainn Wilson heroically sacrifices himself so they can get out of school. And then they show up at what is essentially like, I mean, local people to Contra Costa will maybe remember The Jungle, which is like a place where kids' parties were had. I was a little old for it, but it's basically like Chuck E. Cheese with ball pits and like jungle gym type stuff. Yeah, so they go to a place like that. Yeah, the tubes you run through. They go to a place like that, and like all the zombie kids are there, and they're like, we're doomed. And then in comes Rainn Wilson, who's like covered in blood. And he's like, somebody need you to protect him? And he starts like wailing on these kids, and it's just hilarious. And then they run off into the sunset. But it was like, it's so enjoyable. It's so hilariously over the top and just ridiculous, and just it's just, I was like, I love this. This is unique. This is new. This is amazing. So nice. That was my day 27.
Excellent. So my day 27 was Bone Tomahawk, which we talked about last week. Again, great movie and just amazing. October 28th was The Killer Book Club, which I think I found this on Netflix. and this is a movie about a girl who wants to be a writer, who ends up convincing a pen pal to set. I kind of forget how this worked out. Anyway, she has a weird interaction with a pen pal that she mistakenly convinces her to get out of the situation that she's in, but the pen pal construes that as for setting things on fire. Anyway, fast forward to this girl in college and wanting to become a legit writer. She's with a group that is in a book club, and anyway, in dealing with her professor gets a little handsy one night, and so they decide to get some revenge on the professor. So they come up with this elaborate plot to scare the professor, but accidentally end up killing him. Then this becomes I Know What You Did Last Summer, but there is a ebook that is getting released chapter by chapter that is detailing the murder of one of the people in the group, and it's getting texted to the rest of the group as it happens. And there is there's some great the killer's here, we got to find them. The killers in this group are in this group of people where there's a big event going on, and this is a lot better movie than it looked when I watched the initial trailer. Like, the trailer didn't really sell it as good, but it ended up being a really fun watch. So The Killer Book Club, that was on Netflix, and that was my 28.
Okay. Let me see. Day 28 for me was 1994's amazing Brain Scan. This movie is it stars Edward Furlong and T. Ryder Smith. So T. Ryder Smith, for those who might not know, because he's done a lot of voice work, he voices Baron Underbite in Venture Brothers, and he voices Sander Cohen from BioShock. But so he plays the trickster, who is like a demon that comes to Edward Furlong when he puts in a CD-ROM horror game that's an interactive, like, virtual reality style horror game that he gets through the mail called Brain Scan. This movie has a lot of vibes, kind of like Lawnmower Man. It was like that early 90s horror trope of like, ooh, new technology, CD-ROM games are gonna convince people they can go into the virtual world and kill people. And it's just over the top cheesy. Like, while playing this game, quote unquote, Edward Furlong thinks that he's like killing people, but then when he's out of the game, he starts realizing that these people are actually dying, and maybe he's the one doing it. And the trickster tries to convince him that he is. It's super cheesy. It's a lot of fun. A little bit sad because I saw a YouTube documentary on the downfall of Edward Furlong with his substance use and his issues. And apparently this was the movie where it really started getting bad for him. And they had a lot of stuff like behind the scenes with Brain Scan, which made me a little sad. However, if you like 90s horror, Brain Scan is 100% campy, cheesy fun. It's super good.
Nice.
And then day 29 was Bone Tomahawk for me. So we discussed that last week. So
nice.
I'll pass it back to you.
All right. So October 29, and shame on me for not realizing this came out, but It Chapter 2. Like, I completely missed this for some reason.
Seriously, how?
Yeah, right? I know. I trust me.
I didn't drill this into your brain?
No, apparently not. But I watched it and, like, holy crap. Like, to get a group of actors, like, this is more prevalent with Yellow Jackets. By the way, fuck both of you for not watching Yellow Jackets.
What's Yellow Jackets, Andy? You've never talked about it.
No, yeah, it's the first time.
Only the most amazing show ever.
Right.
Just don't encourage him, Steve.
Yeah.
No, I'm Team Andy on this. It's so good.
He's trying to get us to watch it for like 2 years.
Anyway, to get a group of actors to sort of encapsulate the younger group of actors.
They nailed it.
Oh, so good. Dude, Finn Wolfhard, Bill Hader, like, holy crap. Like, there couldn't have been a more perfect, like, mirror of those two. I thought was great. But everything else I thought was... I really loved this sequel. I thought it was great. And I wanted to watch this before I jumped into Welcome to Derry. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I was up to date on all things It before I jumped into the show. My October 30th was a movie called Other, and this stars Olga Kurdienko, Nate, who you will know as Taskmaster from the MCU. This is a really crazy movie. She inherits a house from her mother, and when she gets to the house, there is weird stuff going on, and there's the little thing sort of scampering through the house, which you don't necessarily know what that is, and then people are really weird when they are dropping stuff off, like packages getting dropped off and whatnot. And then this creepy kid shows up, and she comes out of the house to confront the kid, and the kid's just like, "Don't show your face," and you trying to figure out like what the hell's going on. There is possibly the most creepy use of a speak and spell. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Where you hit the letter and it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie's called Other, and it's during the movie the creepy thing is OTHER. Incorrect.
Nope.
It is chilling. It is so chilling.
Nope.
And when you finally find out what's going on, it's one of those movies that sort of gives you chills in the end when you find out like the screwed up stuff that happened to get to where you were. So yeah, pretty solid.
What was the name of it again?
That was Other, and I want to say that was on either Hulu or Shudder. Oh, it was on Shudder. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I missed the name of it, and I was like, "Ooh, this sounds really good."
Yeah, it was pretty solid. Yeah, that was my 30.
All right. So 30. So you guys know I love Nick Cage. I'm gonna. I want to ask you all a poll question real quick. In the titular Nick Cage vehicle, Willy's Wonderland, which is a Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff, how many iconic lines does Nick Cage speak?
0.
Absolutely 0.
Exactly. He has not a single spoken line in this whole goddamn movie. I was like, when is he going to talk? What the hell? I thought he would have, like, some sort of badass, like, put the bunny back in the box or something at the end. But no. So, this movie is very much Five Nights at Freddy's, but the one you have at home that your mom got at great value. The plot is, like, there's the Showbiz Pizza version of Five Nights at Freddy's called Willy's Wonderland, and kids went missing because the owner was part of a satanic cult that was like sacrificing the kids. And then when the FBI came to bust them, they all did a ritualistic sacrifice. But the building is now possessed, and the animatronics come to life and they kill people. And so Nick Cage, driving his badass Camaro down the road, has the tires blow out. And somehow, through just cold Nick Cage with a beard stares, communicates to the local mechanic that he doesn't have a way to pay for the new tires because they don't take credit card, and he has no cash. And they tell him, well, if you work at Willy's Wonderland overnight cleaning it, we'll fix your car. So we all know, because of the massive, like, story development of Nick Cage's character, that car is his baby. He would do anything for it. So he, of course, verbosely accepts the job. He goes to Willy's Wonderland, throws on a Willy's Wonderland crew t-shirt, and gets to work cleaning mirrors and picture frames. As the animatronics come to life one by one and start trying to kill him, and they have all the one-liners in this movie, he just systematically, like, he turns into Rorschach from Watchmen, where he's like, you're not locked in here, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. And he just systematically starts dispatching these things left, right, and center. There's a B story about a girl and her friends who are like, we're going to burn down Willie's because that place is evil. And then they see Nick Cage going in there. They probably heard him singing or talking to himself off camera. And they were like, oh, we need to go save him. So they go in and they start getting offed one by one. And for some unexplained reason, Nick Cage has like a watch that every like 30 minutes he takes his like government mandated break.
Yeah.
So like he'll be in the middle of like killing an animatronic and his watch goes off and he just looks at it and he drops everything he's doing and he goes and he plays pinball and he crushes grape sodas.
Yeah.
And then when he's done, he just goes back to killing and like cleaning as he goes.
Here I go killing again.
And like it's so funny. And then like there's my favorite scene is there's one of the animatronics is like about to kill the main girl, and here comes Nick Cage to her rescue, and the animatronic's like, bring it, dude, like come on. And then he's about to fight her and the alarm goes off and he looks at his watch and he just hands the woman a pocket knife and he walks off to go play pinball. And she's like, what are you doing? And then she has to fight this thing. The thing almost kills her, and then his break's over and he's like, all right guys, time in. And then he like goes back and he kicks the shit out of her. And then like it's just, there's a plot line where like the sheriff knows that the place is haunted and they feed like passing by motorists to the animatronics so they won't eat townschildren. And it's just, it's so bizarre. But I was like, the best part of it was not only does Nick Cage have no spoken lines, and not only does he crush grape sodas and play pinball, they felt it was so important that when they play the Willy's Wonderland theme song, to have a scene of him just doing a Nick Cage dance.
Yep.
Just in front of the pinball machine, which is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And I've seen some Nick Cage shit. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So it's amazing for a Nick Cage movie. It's bad for a FNAF ripoff. FNAF was surprisingly better, but enjoyable still.
Yeah, I loved Willy's Wonderland. I thought that was a great movie.
Oh yeah, no, it was really good. And then my new favorite movie of 2025, Halloween. My wife and I watched 2025's Good Boy. This Shudder movie. It's a Shudder movie. It was in theaters. This is a horror movie entirely from the dog's perspective.
Yeah.
And I never realized just how important perspective is in these movies until I saw Good Boy. Holy shit. Whoever thought of this, like all the awards, all the accolades. Everything in this movie, you do not see people's faces. All the humans in the movie, and there's like 3, are either off camera or their faces obscured by something because it's all like filmed at the dog's level.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all hog makers and log makers. Yeah.
Right, and it's like, so the story is about, I'm going to try not to spoil anything because I really think everyone should watch it, but the story is about this dog whose name is Indy, and Indy is the best boy in the world. I will take no Indy slander. And Indy's owner is sick with some sort of disease, and when he gets released from the hospital at the beginning, he empties out his apartment and he takes Indy and they go to the middle of nowhere to Grandpa's old, possibly haunted farm where he's going to live and just enjoy nature because the doctor told him he's free to go. And his sister disagrees with this, and there's scenes where like he's out trying to open a gate and the phone is ringing, but you're in the car with Indy and you see the phone in the corner of the screen saying that it's his sister Vera calling, and then you see him walk back up and grab the phone out of the corner of the screen and then walk back to the front of the car, and the whole time it's just focused on the dog in the car.
Oh, wow.
But then in the background, there's like some sort of creepy entity in the background of the car that you're like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? That the dog like doesn't quite see, but then the dog hears whistling and the dog turns around and it's like, ugh. Lots of really creepy ghost shit in the corners and in the backgrounds of stuff. Like the dog hears things that the owner doesn't. It's definitely a horror, like a spooky ghost movie. But it's hard to really explain without spoiling it. And it's one of those movies where I feel like if you and the other person have seen it, you guys will just gush about how amazing it was. So like I'm a little bound because I want to tell you guys just like how much I loved this, but
we need to watch watch this. Let's move.
Yeah.
There was
a
one
follow-up review of this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there was one scene that my wife and I were watching it, and she looked away, and right when she looked away, something happened, and I have not screamed in a horror movie since I was a kid, and I screamed so loud. She turns around, she goes, what? And I'm like, I'm rewinding it. I'm not even gonna, no, I'm rewinding it. So I rewound it, and she's like, okay. And then when it happened, she screamed, even though she knew that something scary was gonna happen, because it was so unfucking called for.
Yeah.
Then, being the good parents we are, we watched it again with my daughter because we were like, it's honestly, it's not scary to a point where like kids or young teenagers, tweens can watch it. Like, it's not gory. It's just a little creepy, but it's good.
Sure.
We waited for her for that scene, and it happened. Stone faced, no reaction. We go, that didn't scare you? And she goes, you were scared by that, really? I'm like, you know what? No, you're going to start paying rent next week. Like, no. I will not accept this slander. It is so good. The burning question everybody asks me when I tell them how much I love this movie is, does the dog die? That is the one thing I'm going to say.
A word. Damn it.
You're safe to watch this movie. Kind of.
Okay.
The actor dog does not die.
Oh, good. All right.
Oh my God, Steve, stop.
Just similar to how Harrison Ford doesn't die in anything he's in because he's still alive. He's still making movies.
That's true. That is true.
That's my technicality to get out of it.
Nice.
The dog.
Nice.
So good.
So my 31st watch was a movie called Night of the Reaper, which is a movie starts off with the murder of a babysitter, there is a essentially this is a sort of revenge plot where we follow the sister of the babysitter, kind of figuring out sort of what happened that night, and her sort of putting things together of who could possibly be responsible for the murder of her sister. There are a couple great visuals in this movie that I won't spoil here, but just great sort of like, and it does sort of change things up in terms of how like a movie Night of the Reaper revolving around a murderer sort of comes about and turns around, which is really, really good. And then, because it's November 1st, I had to watch Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yes. So yeah, November 1, I did a bonus watch of Thanksgiving because I love that movie and it's awesome. So yeah,
You'll go home in a body bag.
Yeah. So that was my 31 for 31, and then some.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Juggernaut is done. 2 hours, 20 minutes of 62 movies ish watched over the 31 days. Did you guys watch any of the movies? What did you guys think? You can find us on social media at the Rum Regret Podcast on Facebook, Rum_Regret on X, and we're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Find us all over there. Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee on all the socials or at joechickadee.com.
And Nate, where can they find you?
Yeah, Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all the socials and the gaming platforms of choice. You can come bro out with me in Battlefield 6 if you want. Although I will be transitioning to Arc Raiders soon, which is fantastic. Side note, play Dispatch on Steam. It's fantastic, and they sold 1 million copies already. So,
Wow.
Good stuff.
Nice.
And Steve, where can they find you?
I'm Mr. Soup's House of Horror on Blue Sky and on Letterboxd, and I am We Are Stevo on Steam and on Riot, Riot's client for any of the Riot games.
Excellent. You can find me at Crazy Drake on Facebook, at Andrew Drake on X, and until the next time, we have spoken.
He loves the cock.